Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another stream, another video, depends when you're watching it, up onto Rake Talks. Guys, it's been a while. The last time I was up here watching, streaming, shall I say, you guys were watching, it was the Arsenal versus Wolves game where I had my brother Edmin next to me talking about that game. And since then, I've just literally, I've been soaking it up, drinking it in. You know what I mean? A big win for Arsenal. But now, seriously, it has been a while. I wasn't expected to take this long of a break. We ended up celebrating. Well, I ended up celebrating in front of Ed's face. And then, Saturday, it was busy, had the family round and those things. And I weren't feeling too great. And neither was Mama G on Sunday. But yeah, we're all feeling good now. We're back ready. I know there's FA Cup games going on, people. But we're going to bring this Premier League talk to you. And I've got a very special guest. I'm sorry, Moss. I'm sorry. It's Black Hat, man. It's the only Black Hat I got. But I've got a very special guest, as you will see. You may see in the description of this video. But it's my brother, CM22. What? Where's the memo, man? We got the black memo at.
Hey, listen, man. Come on. Got the velvet do-rag on today, man.
I haven't got a black velvet one. I got a black silk one.
Hey, come on, man. You have to dip in that bag.
But what you telling me, bro? You're right.
Hey, I'm all good, bro. What about you? Everything blessed?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. I'm happy. You know what? In football terms, I'm delighted. I don't know if I can say the same about you. For the new listeners who aren't used to seeing you, what team do you support?
Man United, man. Enough said. Enough said.
How many times will you see an Arsenal Man United fan up in the chat, up on a stream together when there's not even a game between us?
You know? Yeah, it's you know what? Yeah, it's a sad occurrence right now because I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm looking at Man United. And I'm just like, man, I see a team going in the right direction and I'm seeing man falling off a cliff.
Hey, we'll get into that. Hold, bite your tongue. But big up everyone in the chat right now and everyone who's watching this afterwards. We've got G Staffy in the place, who was first in the building. Big up G Staffy. And my boy is back. Yes, I'm back, Wolf, and I'm glad to see you're back also. I know you've been in the chat, but it's good to see you, man. I hope you're keeping well. T-Money and Tariq Talks fam. Big love. Grace, my girl. Moss in the building, up the Borough and up the Arsenal. I'm not going to have to finish that one off then. Borough playing Spursy in 40 minutes. Yeah, exactly. It's not on TV over here, though, which is unfortunate. But we got G Staffy's happy to see you in here. We've got Wilf. Guys in the comments, come on. When we're watching afterwards, make sure you get in there. And hopefully show your love to CM. And do you know also by showing your love? Subscribe to him. The link is in the description down below. Go check him out, people. He's more than worth it. But you know what? We're going to get started now. We're 3 minutes, 15 seconds in. We haven't even talked too much about the Premier League. But do you know what? We have to start at the top. And this is going to be the title talk. This title race is really heating up now. Liverpool on Sunday winning the Carabao Cup. A lot of people talk about, the Carabao Cup when Man City won it 4 times in a row. It's something to kick you forward, build that momentum, have that snowball effect when chasing the title. And so far, we've got Man City up there with 63 points? I'll double check for you people.
They're on 66.
Is it 66?
Yeah.
Okay, so even more than I thought. But Man City do have 66 points and Liverpool with 60. However, Liverpool do have a game in hand on City. Yes. So, CM, how's this season been for you? Like, not as a Man United fan, but watching it as a neutral in terms of, City taking a big dominance, but then Liverpool pegging it back. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's something that, we as fans, if we take away our support for certain clubs and just think as a neutral, I think we should be happy the way the league is going at this point. Obviously, it's March now, and there's still a title race going on, and it's going to be exciting now. I feel like it's going to go down to the wire because, like you said, the Liverpool have a game in hand. They're on a roll, just won a trophy. Manchester City, in the business end of the season, they don't play no games, but you just never know. The Premier League is unpredictable. teams can cause shocks. We've seen with some of the bottom teams, you know, we're going to talk about that later, but some of them are getting rolled in, and then maybe they can cause shocks. Some of the teams fighting for top 4, so everything's up for grabs right now.
That's it, and that's what we want, really. I know for you, it's for a United fan, it's not the best scenario to watch Man City and Liverpool go at it yet again. But as a neutral, because I always say this, I'm a football fan first and then an Arsenal fan second, because I'd still watch football if, obviously, God forbid this happens, but if Arsenal folded or if they didn't exist, I'd still be watching football. And the fact that we're seeing a title race is amazing. And that's what I love to see, because it makes it more exciting. 2 elite teams who are the best in the league by a mile. And I think the best in the world. What do you think?
I would have to agree. I look at the Liga. I don't think they've got the best in class anymore with their top teams. Probably Bayern Munich could be one of them teams that are up there arguing to be the best. And PSG, even though I'm not a strong believer, due to the fact that something just never is clicking with them on the pitch as a team, as a whole collective.
Yeah, it's true. And guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts. Do you think Man City and Liverpool are 2 of the best teams in the world? Because me and CM seem to agree. But if you got different thoughts, let me know. We'll discuss that there. And that's why it's going to be interesting, because these teams, both of them, are more than capable of going on a run of games and winning. We know that. We've seen it. I've seen my team do it, go on not in the same stretch, probably half. Our best is half of the run that City and Liverpool can put on. And
hey, that's better than us. We can only do one half of football.
that's true. But I'm happy with that, and I'm seeing progress. I'm liking that. But these guys are just set the league of their own. When we're seeing the likes of Pep versus Klopp, and this is where I want to talk. This is where it's real head to head. Who's your favorite manager, CM? Who's the better one, Pep or Klopp?
You know, I like different things from both managers. I've always, swayed to Pep, because like a lot of the time, even though he's bust up United in the past, I just find that kind of football attractive in a way that, quick possession ball, like triangles. They actually have a set ways where everybody knows where they're supposed to be on the pitch. They're not impatient like a certain team I could mention, like Man United, for example, were always playing pointless long balls and giving away possession. They're patient. They love to, their off-ball movement is brilliant in terms of bringing defenders out of position so somebody else can fill the void. And I just feel like the way he's come over to the Premier League and changed the way teams have to play, he's influenced a whole nother generation like previous managers. And I just think the fact that he's done that shows the quality of manager that he is, the quality of coach, and also the staff that he puts around him, and also the platform that Manchester City have given him to succeed in the end of the day. Because we know manager like Pep Guardiola, he ain't going to a team that isn't going to give him the power to almost be that authoritative figure within the club. So I would pick Pep, me personally. It's here and there though, because Klopp football is entertaining. His kind of football is more so the English style, where it's fast paced, physical, wing play, getting the ball into the box quickly, just all energy, full on pressing. So, I would understand why you would say Klopp too.
Yeah. I'll play devil's advocate in a second. Let me just get into the comments, because we've got quite a few right now. G Staffy cheering on the Borough for tonight against Spurs. I will definitely be cheering you on it. Also, Will saying, see him as you hear, got a defender for Man United. Oh, my ring light nearly dropped then. So sorry if you thought, yo, what's CM doing? What's he doing here?
Don't try and pull nothing on me.
But anyways, as you're here, got a defender for Man United. Take it to the next level. Send Kolasinac, just a present for you. He's not even ours anymore. He's at Marseille. Big up Drake Slicer, Wagwan, everyone. Nice to see you, Jake. If Arsenal folded, yeah, it's Tiddly Winks for you. Big up Courts in the place. Up the Wolves, he's saying. Liverpool, Man City, undoubtedly the best in the world. So Will for agreeing with us here. Big up TCM. I'm sure she'll agree with that because she's a Liverpool fan. Big up sis. And Drake saying Liverpool got the rock stars, Man City for the game masters. You see what you see where he's coming from. I think that's kind of basically what you said, that rock and roll football that they have. And TC picking Liverpool, of course. But for me to play devil's advocate, because I'll be real, I do agree with you about Pep because of the style of football, CM. But to play devil's advocate, as you said, Manchester City have given Pep Guardiola that platform, and even Pep Guardiola said that for what he does, he has to have the best players in the world. And with Jurgen Klopp, he has definitely made a lot of players and pushed them up there, given them the platform to build and become the best. And the fact that they're even competing with Manchester City is a testament to Jurgen Klopp. Because if we was to compare now and say midfields, for example, I think City's would walk over Liverpool's all day, like talent, player for player. But if we watch a game, if we watch Liverpool versus City, it doesn't fold out and doesn't turn out that way. Because Rodri and Fabinho, they compete with each other. And then everyone else, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, they would all walk in Liverpool's team for me. And I stress the importance of a midfield and how that can set you apart from the rest. But Liverpool can still have the energy, match them. They've got the quality up top. And with, Mane, Sterling, sorry. Mane, Salah, Luis Diaz, now Jota, Firmino. But then you could easily say that Man City, we've got Raheem Sterling, we've got Riyad Mahrez, they've got Phil Foden, they've got their own stars in that making. So for Jurgen Klopp to even be there, that's a testament to his management. And City have the best recruitment. They have the best well-run club. But you can say Liverpool, yes, they're there. There are flaws, though, that if Jurgen Klopp wasn't there, it would get exposed. So there's devil's advocate. For me, personally, my own personal, I agree with CM, everything that he said there. So, yeah, bro. So that's what we spoke about here. If we was to do, a quick combined 11 between these two, yeah? Let's do it. We'll do it together. We'll agree with each other, yeah? Okay.
Right, cool.
Goalkeeper, Alison or Edison? Guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts as well.
For me, I'll pick Edison, man. I just like the way he moves and go. He's too calm. He's too calm for a goalkeeper. He's too much.
Yeah. It's true. Big up everyone in the chat. Nice to see Ed in here. We've got Josh. We've got Roland in the place. Big up to yourself, my bro, Roland. And he's bigging up all you guys in the chat. And I'm gonna agree with you. It's Liverpool fans will go mad because Edison's got a howler in him, but so has Alison, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So Edison, it is right back.
I think the options are Cancelo and Trent, innit? Oh, Kyle Walker. I'm not. No Kyle Walker for me.
We can dash him in the bin. Sorry, Kyle Walker. You're not a bad defender, but Trent and Cancelo different.
You know what? Yeah. At the start of the season, I would have went towards Cancelo, innit? But I'm kind of steering more towards Trent now, and I don't know why. I just feel like Trent. We all know his defensive issues, innit?
Yeah,
and that's probably where you take away from him. But the level he is going forward, that is just unbelievable. The level, it's mad. So it's very close.
I think Cancelo's defensive abilities don't really get talked about, but I think he lacks it defensively. Also, I've seen him get burnt. I've seen Son or whatever Kulusevski do him. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't really get spoken about because I don't think Cancelo's as exposed at right back or left back whenever he plays than the likes of Trent is, because Trent, Cancelo's excellent going forward. He's like another central midfielder. This is why it's so hard discussing that. Probably a bad idea doing that combined. It's great. I agree with you. I'd say Trent, but I've always had my own personal feelings towards Trent. And when you watch the guy play, football. You see the passes he makes at right back, transformed that right back position, even to a greater extent than Dani Alves. And I know that's a big shout to say right now, but the ability, the versatility he has at right back is amazing. So I'm going Trent at right back. Centre back partnership now. What are you saying for the centre backs?
You gotta have Diaz from Man City and Van Dijk in it.
We can agree on that. I think that goes. Without being said. We'll get into your defense, guys, in the chat in a second. I can see your comments right in. We'll get into that. And at left back, are you going to put Cancelo there? Or are you going to stick with Robertson?
That's interesting, because I saw Ed say Cancelo. Yeah. That's the thing about him. He's a versatile player. You can slap. He moves into the midfield, right back, left back. That's the thing. But Robertson, he can't go underrated as well because he's solid defensively and going forward. He's got a wicked delivery as well. Part of that, fullback connection is Trent and Robertson itself. So you can't leave him out at all. So it's a difficult one. I think based on probably this season, you kind of have to put Cancelo. I'm not gonna lie. Because leaving him out is kind of wild.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Because I'd agree with you. Probably, I don't know. Can you really say balance? Because you'd think that Cancelo at left back for City wouldn't create much balance, but it works, and that's what happens when you have great players that are willing to work hard. So we've gone with Edison, Trent, Diaz, Van Dijk, and Cancelo at left back. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. So Ed, Trent is different gravy. Trent, best right back in the world for me. And I've got to agree with Graham. Do you believe that as well, CM? Or
I look at the other someone else? I would have to agree. Because I look at the other competition. I think right now the Premier League have the two best right backs in the world.
It's true. One's playing left back. Hakim, when I think off the top of my head, you got the likes of Hakimi. I think he's very good. He's up there.
I haven't seen much of Hakimi, but what I've seen from him, he's definitely good. I just don't watch enough football to have a solid opinion on him.
Yeah, PSV
and stuff like that.
It's just with Hakimi, he's best when he's performed best. It has been at right wing back when it was either or left wing back. When he played at Dortmund, he played left wing back a lot. But right wing back for Dortmund and Inter, I wouldn't necessarily say he's been at his best at PSG because that team as a unit just doesn't. It works enough. They've got enough quality to win the league in League One, but in the Champions League, I don't know if they'll make it past the quarterfinals for that reason. And so I can't really put him there when he doesn't play for one of the best teams in the world. So Ed, as CM mentioned, what Ed said earlier, Trent at right back, Cancelo at left back. Big up, man. Big month for sport is coming. It is coming, bro. we'll definitely go check out Pros Only TV. Go subscribe if you haven't done so already. You know what? Big man right there doing his thing for all sports. Trent for what he offers going forward. So, yeah, we've definitely gone with that. But Graham's gone with Alison. And I can hear that shout. I can. Because Alison is a great goalkeeper. He's picked first over Edison in Brazil. So that says it a lot, really. And Luca's got his predictions in there. We'll get right into that in a bit. So Ed's gone with Alison also with Trent. So he's agreed with our back four, but he's gone with Alison in goal. I can hear that, but preferably speaking, I'm choosing Edison also because of what he can offer. He's better than Alison playing out the back. I don't think he has I think Alison probably has that less clangers there, but Will's not letting me go for this one. For the Ndombele, basically, quick story. I put Ndombele in an Arsenal Spurs combined 11. And look
yeah, that's tough.
But Ed's gone with his midfield and attackers as well. So we'll get into that one now. In midfield, are you going with CDM, Rodri or Fabinho?
Ooh. I would say that's a tough one, because I rate Fabinho a lot.
Yeah.
I think both of them, they're able to score Like Rodri, you've seen him score some screamers this season alone. But we've seen Fabinho do that. He has an eye for goal.
Yeah.
Both of them are defensively sound. Keep it simple. They don't overcomplicate the game from the CDM's position, which is the most important thing. I would. That's tough. What are you saying? I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Rodri, and that's just because of this season. Because if we're gonna be real, over the course of their Premier League career, Fabinho, because I think he's been more consistent, but this season Rodri's taken it to a new level, and I think what he's given for City. I don't think Fabinho has been as good as Rodri. We've seen him have bad games, like against West Ham.
All right, yeah.
Was it Brentford? Brentford in the midfield, he got ran past. But Rodri is ridiculous. Like how he wins the ball back, how he presses. He's been phenomenal, and he's the reason why City are at the top of the league for me. In that reason, and that consistency has shown, and staying fit is a massive point.
I'd agree with that. Then I'd agree with that.
Rodri's
solid, definitely, and he's
no
only
disrespect
25,
to
bro.
Hey,
he's only 25.
It's taken him a while. Matt's in here saying Rodri's a cheat. I know it's not his fault. It is definitely the referees. I'm doing a Rodri right now, sticking my arms up for no reason. Just need to see about whack it right here. But Rodri,
I'm at Stockley Park.
Exactly. Oh man, so quickly, joke of a decision, isn't it?
When I saw it, because I didn't watch the game live, but when I saw the replays, had a few looks at it, I was like, I could not believe it. Because fair enough, yeah, if the referee's in a position that he couldn't see it clearly, you go to VAR, you get it looked at. These men have every single angle, and you're telling me you couldn't come up with the right decision. There's just something going on, man. Something going on. And you know what? Yeah, it's come to the point where you can't even blame VAR anymore. I remember at the start we were blaming VAR. It's the people, the class of our officials. They just fallen off a cliff. Trust me, the English officials are poor, and that's being nice about it.
Yeah, 100%. Ed saying there it's an absolutely pathetic decision. I agree. Can't believe they came to that conclusion. And the Don Graham says, lads, let's be honest, none of the defenders are the level of Pascal Sigan. Arsenal legend right there. O2 bold. I love that bold head. Hey, you see him, if you take that off, you might be looking Pascal Sigan right now. No, but I'm the one. I've got a hat on, and I'm not taking it off for weeks, bro. So I can't really talk. He knew exactly what he did, 100%. And big up Square Table in the place. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well, Square Table. But yeah, so we've done Rodri. We're gonna go further on now. Kick this forward. The two in the midfield, in that midfield three, they both play a 4-3-3, so it makes sense to go with that. I'm going with De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. I would say Thiago, but he just doesn't stay fit enough for me.
I think.
What about it?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think Thiago's class, but he hasn't done enough, like you said, due to injuries, and I think he had a slightly slow start because he wasn't an immediate starter for Liverpool. You know what I mean? But I think in terms of quality, KDB, he's clear. Bernardo Silva had a great start to the season and kind of cooled down, but you can still see the quality that he has. I remember, what was that goal he scored the other day in the Champions League when he just absolutely volleyed it against Porto? Sporting Lisbon, that's the one. Yo.
Disgusting.
That ridiculous type of techers. And
he did it against Villa as well this season, didn't he? You see that one?
Oh man. And Kevin De Bruyne, you don't have to talk about him. Like, I don't like praising opposition rivals and that, but the techers he has is clear, man. Clear.
Exactly. And Graham's come back again. And I think this is a good little talking point talking about Thiago, because this has been banded around on social media a lot. Seen it. And it sparked up quite a bit of debate. He says, on popular opinion, Thiago's slightly overrated. Do you think that's the case, Ian?
You know what? Yeah. I think at times, because I've been seeing on socials Thiago will do a pass or something like that, and Liverpool fans are worshipping that pass like it's the best thing we've ever seen. And I'm not gonna lie, like, don't criticize, because obviously if it's a good pass, it's a good pass, isn't it? It's like Pogba. He pulls off worldies of passes all the time, but he gets criticized by some fans, the mass media. You can say it's agenda based, but we're not gonna go there today, innit? But Thiago, in terms of consistent performances throughout a whole game, sometimes he goes missing. And that's the only criticism that I'll give to him. He's a fantastic player when he's engaged, but a lot of the time he can go missing.
It does happen, and for me, I think with Thiago, it's the defensively. I think he gets overrun a little in the midfield, and we've seen him have that. I remember, I know this was last season, and Liverpool fans will say this, and last season was a very different season in a way, and understandably, given their injuries and their situation. It was against Man United in that 0-0 draw, and I saw him in the first half. He was was it in the first? Yeah, he played the full game, didn't he? In the first half, he was quality, and in the second half, he got overran. And I see that a little bit with Thiago at times. Maybe the Anfield crowd not being there, yes, that's surely a factor. I understand, but I've got to give my opinion based on the facts that I've seen. So I think there is that slightly overrated factor in there. I love Thiago because I love players that are aesthetically pleasing, and that's exactly what he is. And seeing when you mentioned about the passes that he plays, some of them will be easy passes, but the way he'll strike a ball or no look, like what Luis Diaz seems to be doing now.
What about them Brazilians? Every single pass is a no look, fam. I see Luis Diaz. It's a 5-yard pass, and man's going. You know what I mean?
Luis Diaz. I tell you, South America, Colombia, Brazil, you name it, bro. It was against in the box, man. There was no need for the no-look pass. You know what I mean? There's no need for it. But yeah, we've gone with Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and then the front three to wrap it up before we give our predictions. Who's coming first and second? What are you saying, CM? Front three.
Front three. Sheesh.
It's difficult, man.
Salah's gonna have to be in there, yeah. Salah's gonna have to be in there for sure. Left wing is between Mane and Sterling for me. I don't know about you. It's between them two. I know Phil Foden's in that argument, but I don't think. I feel like Sterling, as of recent at least, has been better than him.
If we're going to talk about end product and we're talking pure productivity, you can't go amiss with Sterling, and then Mane's probably second, and then Foden third. Yeah. Once again, it comes to like preference and those things. I prefer Foden on the left personally because I think that's where he's played his best football. Better than when he plays in that false nine. I don't think he gets lost in there. I think a little bit lost in the sauce though, because it's a ridiculous amount of talent he's got around him. But yeah, I think that's where he's best on the left. But I've got to go with Sterling. If we're going to go productivity, if we're going to smash productivity out on that right wing, he draws a lot of debate, but we got to go Sterling for that reason, though, innit?
You see Sterling, yeah? He's never been the greatest finisher, but he scores goals. He gets in those positions. And I think that's the thing that the coaches of Manchester City and Pep have to be credited for, because once he went there, you can almost see the progression of the player. Maybe not so much in terms of his finishing, but in the positions that he's picking up in order to get those simple goals. And he's even scoring some great goals at times. So
he's with the curling shots like against Lisbon. And we've seen it in the Premier League plenty of times. So we're going. I'm going Jota once again. I just love Diogo Jota. He could play for Man City up top and do the exact same thing, really. Man City, not really. They don't really play with a 9 though, do they? And I think Diogo Jota would do that perfectly. So that's who I'm going with. What have you got? Someone else that you're thinking of?
Not really. Like you said, Jota, he'll get you the goal. I think at times he can be a frustrating player because his decision making isn't always, correct, but he does what he needs to do in that Liverpool side. And he's a neat player. He can do a skill, provide assist, score a goal. So, yeah, man.
We've got plenty of comments in here. We need to get to it. Because we need to talk about this in terms of, wow, you're so wrong about Thiago, who runs our midfield. Our defense is better, and we never lose when him and Fabinho play together. The stat is there. He's correct in saying that.
You know what? I'm happy that Jamie's come in and said that, though, because we're getting a perspective from a Liverpool fan. You know what I mean?
Big up Jamie once again. Yeah. This is what we need to see, because this is why it's important to have these types of discussions. And guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts as well. People putting Foden in. Top 3 scorers are Mane, Jota and Salah. It's true. Liverpool have scored 70 goals. Ed's agreeing with us. Jota has levels to his game we haven't seen yet. I mean, it's true. Sterling wouldn't go amiss either. We're talking across how many seasons. I know Sterling didn't have the greatest season last year, but neither did a lot of players. But I think we are disrespecting Raheem Sterling if we're not going to put him in there. So that's why I'd go Sterling left. Because if Sterling was at Liverpool playing rock and roll football, he scores more than Mane for me.
That's. I think they're pretty close, because I rate Mane. I do rate Mane. I know he had a tough start to this season, and even Sterling, you can say the same to that extent, because in the summer there were doubts that Sterling was even going to be at the club, and for Mane, it was just a slow start. I don't know if anything happened to him, but as far as I saw, it was a slow start for him. So it's a close one.
It is a close one, indeed. It is a close one. I've gone with Sterling. Are you going to agree with that one?
Yeah, I'll go with Sterling. I'll go
Jota,
with Sterling.
And then we're not debating Salah, really, are we?
No.
We're not.
No.
I don't really understand that. Yes, he's not the most aesthetically pleasing on the eye, but sometimes he'll take a horrible touch. Like when he dribbles, it looks a bit shaped, but it doesn't matter when he slaps one in top bins. He doesn't glide like Thierry Henry does all the time, but when you see some of the goals that he scored against City, against Watford, for it just to name a few, Roma in his first season, come on, man, you can't put the man down. You can't, even if you're the biggest critic, you can't. So let's run through the team again, and then we'll talk about who we think's going to win the title. We've gone with Edison over Alison. Controversial, but that's just preference. Yeah. They're both, I understand that. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Cancelo left back, Diaz, Van Dijk at centre back. We went with Rodri in the middle. We went a whole City midfield actually. Rodri, De Bruyne, and Silva. As I said, Jamie, I mentioned earlier that Thiago, I would argue that he should be in there, and obviously the Rodri and Fabinho was a toss. As I also said, Fabinho better in his Premier League career. However, this season, I think the level we've seen from Rodri has been unbelievable. And Silva and De Bruyne, amazing. And we can't, that midfield three, they're top of the league for a reason, you know what I mean? They won so many trophies for that reason. And then the front three, we've gone with Salah, Salah, Jota, and Sterling. Interesting one there. But to wrap up the title talk, we spent half an hour on this one. You know what? It's the big one, isn't it? So, title. Who's your Premier League winner, and how do you think it will play out, and who will win? That's the best way to put it.
The way I see it is, Manchester City have a slightly better running in terms of fixtures going towards the end of the season. And I know, because I looked at Liverpool before, obviously they have to face us. They'll have to face City later on, 10th of April. They have Arsenal as well, and Spurs. So, and then a few difficult games here and there that they should be able to win. So I think Manchester City are going to win the league. I think it's going to be very close. But I'm excited for the running. I don't know, but I think Manchester City are going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's going to be a very interesting running. I will say this year, I think both teams will drop points somewhere. I think both of them will.
Yeah.
at some point down the line. We've seen City do it. I know we've seen both of them are capable of going on that run. We said it at the start. However, I think the Premier League is at such a level right now. If they're not all right for one particular game, they could both drop points in. And I think that will happen. And then it all goes down really to the Man City versus Liverpool game. Excuse me, people. I thought I was going to sneeze then. So I'm going to go with... I'm going to say Liverpool to win it. I'm going to say Liverpool.
You can't argue with that, though. That's the thing. You can't argue with it.
The reason I believe Liverpool will win it is when it comes to, you know, I think City will go. I think Liverpool will also. I don't know, man. I was about to say go far in the Champions League. It's so hard. But I think Liverpool might just do it on goal difference. I think they'll get the same points and Liverpool will win it on goal difference.
Hey, yo, man. That goal difference thing always leaves me scarred, man. Don't be mentioning goal difference.
Aguero.
You know what? Even though Liverpool are rivals, if City gets smoked on goal difference, man, I won't mind that.
It's true. It happens. Revenge. A slight bit of revenge. I know it's Liverpool.
It would be better if it was us, but it is what it is, man. We're so much in the mud that you just have to kind of get the blessings that come to you at this moment of time. Receive them and take it in.
It's true. And Jamie raises a good point there. City look under pressure, awful against Spurs and Everton. City have the most luck with VAR and Liverpool have a harder run in. I think the VAR thing is a bit of a toss of a coin because I think Liverpool have had their fair share of luck also. It had their harder running, but we have some easy games like Arsenal and United. Hey, Jamie, be careful, you know. Hey, you should win. I'm not. Be careful. Hey,
especially with this brother, you know.
Oh man, big up Jamie, man, every time. And then Moss was talking here. Title talk. Who cares? Top 4 relegation is the proper talk and exciting. I think it is exciting in the league, and that's if they do win it. If Liverpool win it, hey, that just brings it up. Big up Casey in the chat again. Liverpool as a United fan there, you knew that was going to come. And Will thinks, I think Liverpool have the momentum and thrive on the chase. So Liverpool title win for me. Yo, that's big. It's big for me to make that change because I went with City at the start of the season to win the league. And if I'm going to say now, I'm still going to do a video going back to my first predictions. It's a win-lose situation, really. Win-win situation because I've called it early if it happens. But I didn't call it at the start. So that's the title talk done. Guys, let me know what the poll is saying. What we got? We got 59% Liverpool and 41% Man City. Wow.
Yo.
That's massive. That's massive. But do you know what? I'm gonna save the juicy bit till last because this is where me and CM are gonna, we're gonna have our big talk when we talk about the top 4 because it involves both teams. But we're gonna talk about the relegation battle right now. And let me present the table to you guys for this relegation battle as we enter this stage in the season. I'll read it out to you and read it out for those listening. So we have in 20th place, we have Norwich with 17 points. Watford in 19th with 2 more points, 19. Burnley are in 18th place with 21, who are currently playing right now against Leicester. So that could still change. Everton just above the relegation zone with 22 points, 1 point above Burnley, same games played. Leeds with 23, just 1 point above Everton, 2 above Burnley, but with 2 games more played. And then 1 point ahead of Leeds United is Brentford with 24, but they've played 3 more than the likes of Everton, Burnley, and 1 more than Leeds. And in the 14th position, who are seemingly getting their way out of it, and is Newcastle with 25 points out of 25 games played. So let me talk about Newcastle quickly before we really go into like the nitty gritty with the other sides. Newcastle, are they still in it for you, CM? And in the chat.
They're definitely still in that relegation battle. They haven't escaped yet, but their form is suggesting that they have a better chance to survive, which I think if you go back 10 games, we wouldn't have thought that at all. The mood around the club is a lot better.
Yeah.
I think, especially for their home games, you can see the mood of the crowd in almost in contrast to last season where it was misery, banners, chanting and all that stuff like that. And you can see what the change in ownership kind of did. They brought in a few players that have complemented the team, and they didn't go crazy in terms of trying to go out for that, big name player. They kept it simple. They signed a few guys that complement and improve the team slightly. And you're starting to see them come together as a collective, and they're getting those results. And so they have a really good chance of staying up. They're still in it, but they have a very good chance of staying up now. 14th position. Who would have thought that?
Exactly. I thought that Newcastle would stay up initially with Steve Bruce, but then when they got dragged into that situation, I was like, okay, this is worse. This is more toxic. And when you have a toxic situation, you're never too good to go down. And then Eddie Howe was brought in before the signings were made. They still didn't really pick up that form with Newcastle. And that's where I thought, okay, they could get relegated. But then they've kicked time. Joel Willock's decided to finally turn up since signing on a permanent. He's been excellent in the past two away games, in particular against West Ham and Brentford. That midfield, John Joe Shelby, he looks like he has got talent, but he's decided to turn up as well in that sense. They've had that stability now in defence. They look a lot more rock solid. Joe Linton playing in the midfield, bro. How good does he look?
It's mad because you slapped him up top, and he was just a laughing stock. He couldn't finish nothing. He didn't even have the legs to run into the box on counter-attacking situations. But all of a sudden, he's gone in this midfield and he's almost found a second calling for him.
Exactly.
It's rare you see a player like that switched all the way back to midfield and you see it work. But it's been successful for Newcastle and Jordan and so far. So big ups to them.
100%. That's the amazing thing about it when you see these types of players make this transition, and it makes you think, you know what? Some of the footballers that get bantered and that. It's all about, it is. We spoke about this yesterday on Richie's Get Amped. A lot of it is up here, isn't it? The mental game. That's the difference between the good, the great, and the best. Even is how the confidence and they can maintain that level of consistency in their performances. And now he seems to have had that. He's a real asset for Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes can't even get a start because that midfield looks so good and solid. And that's the reason why people thought, oh yeah, Newcastle will stay up. That was Newcastle fans' biggest hope. And now we're still having to see them. Callum Wilson won't be here until the last 3 games of the season. Saint Maximin, he's been injured. It's just that it's just nice to see that in a way these quality players are playing again. Newcastle will be a threat in terms of what we're going to talk about after this at some point. So, are you saying confirming Newcastle out of the relegation dogfight? Is that what you're going to say?
I don't think they're out of it.
Okay.
I don't think they're out of it yet because I'm looking at it depends on what they do with their games in hand. But current position, they're not out of it yet.
True, Matt. Wow, that's massive. That's mad. 11 points when the transfer window closed, and they're literally on 25 now. And the transfer window closed like just a month ago. A month ago today, wasn't it? Well, the first day without it. Ridiculous.
Incredible.
And he says Newcastle have a tough running. Last 4 games, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, then Burnley on the last day could be the difference. They need to get their points on the board now. And they are doing it is 100%. The fact that they can go on a little bit of a run, show that grit, determination, pick up points when needed against the likes of West Ham, being the better side against a top team who we'll come and talk about when it comes to the top 4 race, going away to Brentford, taking the win there. It's massive, really. It's huge. But big up everyone else who's joined, everyone in the chat. We've got Super Nick in the place. Hello and good evening, guys. Good evening to yourself, Super Nick. We got Brush in here. Big up T and CM. Big up to yourself, Brush. And big up everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't done so already. It really does help the stream going forward. We got 6 people in here. Minimum. I want to see what are the likes we're on. We're on 21. I'm shocked. Thank you so much, people. Can we try and push it to 30? But we need to get more people in here. So, guys, thank you so much for your support.
Share it up.
I really do
Share it up.
Exactly. Listen to CM as well. Share it up. And also, don't forget to subscribe to CM. And his links, the link to the channel is in the description below. You can go check him out. There's so many different ways you can find him. His name's right there. But definitely, people, thank you for your support. And so, in terms of the teams that are involved in there, who's your biggest worry? Because we've got Matt in here who's an Everton fan. We've just seen yours. We'll make sure we'll get to that later on when we come to give our predictions. Who's going to finish in the bottom 3? The biggest worries for you so far, who's going to go down?
I think Everton, they're in danger because I didn't even expect. I know Everton, they're here and there with their expectations, and then they tend to go right below expectations all the time, really. But to reach this point where they're on the verge of relegation, I could have never seen that, even with the quality of their team. So I just think right now, you brought in Frank Lampard and you don't see a bounce or anything like that. It's never a good sign. And, obviously the transfer window's passed, so you don't have an opportunity to make a change. So you're going to have to run with, your team. I think Damari Gray's been injured. He's been one of their bright spots for this season. So I don't know if he's come back or when he's coming back. He's going to be a crucial player for them if they are to stay up. But right now, they're in a lot of danger. I think Leeds United, who have just got rid of Bielsa and brought in their new coach, they're in a lot of danger because it is risky. No matter what, it is risky getting rid of a coach at this time of the season when you need, a lot of chemistry built up, and just it's gonna shake up the team a lot. Especially because Bielsa, he's been there for a long time. He's brought them up. He's got a relationship with most of these players, so it's gonna shake them up a lot.
It's true, and that lack of experience down there below in that relegation dogfight, you can't even pull back to when he's a player because he's never been involved in that as a player. It's crazy. It's crazy, really, when to see. Yes, it's good. They brought in a manager who will get the respect in Frank Lampard of the players. Definitely, we've seen that happen with Steven Gerrard. That new manager bounce, but it's not worked in that same way for Frank Lampard, and it's a worry now because they need to pick up points where it's unexpected. Given Everton's run, shall I give you Everton's run? They're running. I'll give you their running right now in the Premier League. So Everton have got to play. They've still got to play Burnley and Leicester. That's to be confirmed. But they've got Spurs away. They've got Spurs away next, and then they've got Wolves at home, Newcastle at home, Watford away, West Ham away, Manchester United at home, Crystal Palace at home, which, given that point in the season, I think Everton will win because, Crystal Palace may be on the beach at that point, unless they get dragged into it, which I highly doubt. Liverpool away, Chelsea at home, Leicester again. They've still got to play Leicester twice, Brentford. So really, they're either playing teams in and around them or teams that are still competing for something, which is ridiculous. And they're going to have to pick up points unexpectedly and against sides that they're expected, in who they are fighting with. And Matt's just said here, a massive Everton fan, Mina, Decore, DCL, Godfrey, Gray, Richarlison, Gomez have all missed a combined 53 games for Everton this season. That's mad. I know Decore's missed a lot, and he's been good when he's played. Abdoulaye Decore, DCL, of course, that's their goal scorer. That's their person that it put them in a position where people were like, oh, Champions League. Even at a point last season, I know it didn't come out in fruition, but DCL was on fire. Godfrey, We know how solid a defender he is. We lost to Everton, Arsenal 2-1. How big is that 3 points now in the grand scheme of things? Damari Gray has shown he's been on fire. Richarlison, I think a lot to do with that is because of the Olympics, and he came straight back, didn't he? Do you remember that at the start of the season?
Yeah, that was
He didn't even have a
tough.
summer break. He played. Was he at the Copa America in the squad and then went to the Olympics straight away and then didn't have a break? I think
That's
it was
crazy.
that.
I don't completely remember, but
It's mad.
That's crazy, man.
They are big players, and if they remain fit, I think we can comfortably say that Everton wouldn't be in this position. So if they can get them fit, it'll be interesting to see right there. And Super Nick says Lamps is overrated. Maybe the job is too big for him. Lampard is living off his achievements as a player, but starting in a lower league is the right pathway, like Wazza, Gerrard, and Gerrard at Rangers. It's true. It's true. He wasn't a success at Derby, and until you become a success down below, then that's when you deserve that jump. However, he didn't get that one. He got the Chelsea job because of the situation Chelsea was in. And do you know what? I'd say he did a decent job with Chelsea in a way to get them in fourth place when it looked like they might be out of the Champions League when they're giving their start to the season. They got slapped by Man United 4-0 in that one. But I don't know if he's the right man. And they are in there. They are definitely in that relegation battle. But there are some other teams that we need to just briefly... do you know what? We'll discuss them when we give your bottom three. So, CM, who's your bottom three now? Who's your final three?
For me, Norwich. They're as good as gone.
Yeah.
Even if they hit form, man, you don't expect it. Norwich are just that team. So, Norwich, this is tough. I'm going to say Norwich, Watford, and Everton.
Ooh. Is that the same as Wilf's? I think it is. Wilf has put Norwich, Watford, and Everton to go down, and Matt wasn't too happy about that, as you can probably imagine. But Matt's saying Everton will be fine. Our home form will see us through. We'll pick up points that you don't expect and lose points that you wouldn't expect. Brentford and Leeds to be in big trouble for me. He's got a point. How can we say that Brentford and Leeds will survive, CM?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Because I was gonna say to you 27
games.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say to you before. You can't write out Brentford. They're in a lot of danger, considering the other teams around them have 1 or 2 games in hand. So that's the only thing. That's tough. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make a change.
Oh, he's making a change. Come on.
I'm swapping out Brentford for Everton.
Brentford for Everton. So you're saying Watford. So you say Norwich, Watford, Brentford.
Yeah, because I after looking at the table again, Brentford they're in a bad position, but their position's kind of masking it up at the same time. But if you look at the games played, look, Everton and Burnley have 2 games in hand on them. Burnley, they're starting to slowly pick up a few results here and there. Everton aren't there right now, but you kind of give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, there's the table right there, people.
It's tough.
If you can see, but if you can't see, Norwich 17 points. They are, what's that, 5 points, basically 6 because their goal difference is so bad. 6 points adrift as safety, and they've played 2 more games than the likes of Everton and Burnley. Everton are in 18th right now. But as I said, games in hand. They've got 3 on Brentford, who CM has gone for. For me, I'm going to go with Norwich, Watford. I'll agree with you on those. And I'm going to say Leeds. I think Leeds will go down. And my reason why I'll say the reason why I think Brentford, Burnley, and Everton will stay up. Brentford, I think they've got enough togetherness to push them through the final games. I know it sounds a bit mad, togetherness and this and that, but having a squad, having a unity in that squad, being in the Premier League that season, next season they're straight back down for me. Our second season syndrome is definitely a thing, and that will happen. But this season, I think it will carry them through the atmosphere at the Brentford Community Stadium. They will pick up some unexpected points that they already have done. They beat Arsenal first game of the season, drew against Liverpool 3-3, put a good account of themselves against Manchester City. So they are a team. They are a decent team. I know they lost 3-1 to you guys, Man United, but they were better. The better side, definitely in that first half.
Don't mention Man United, man. That ain't nothing to mention. We're not a big
not
team
yet.
No more, man.
We'll get there. So I think Brentford will stay up for that reason. Burnley, they've got the set for the similar reason. To be honest, they will, but they've got the Premier League know-how and experience to push themselves through. And as it stands, you can see 25 points. Everton drop in because of the game against Leicester. That's the reason why the table's looking like that. And I think Everton, I think Matt is right. I think they will pick up some unexpected results as teams do in the relegation zone, don't they? See them when they're fighting down there. Sorry to bring it back to United, but who would have thought Watford? I know it was very fortunate for them to pick up that point against United, but they did. And Everton, they were very good against City. And were harsh. Well, who knows if they would have scored the penalty, but they would have missed the opportunity to score that one. So I've gone with Norwich, Watford, and Leeds. And CM has gone with Norwich, Watford, and Brentford. People, that relegation battle's big. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let's have a look through right now who you guys think. There's quite a few comments I need to get into. So big up everyone for the love and support as always. We've got Why Not in the place. Big up gents. T and CM. Arteta out. As he says. He keeps that energy. He keeps that same energy. You know what? He ain't going where the wind blows him. Big up to you, Why Not. Richarlison hasn't had a week off in 2 years unless he has been injured. Yeah, that says a lot, really. And those things take a toll on a player's body. I saw it. Matt, I'll tell you what, Alexis Sanchez, that's what happened. And we gave the deadbeat Alexis Sanchez to Man United, the one who's been finished because of all the football that's played. Some people will say the same for Raul Jimenez, because he played a lot of football. I think he played like 4 seasons in a row without a summer break because, playing for Mexico, World Cup, CONCACAF, them things there. So, yeah, madness. And having said that, I think they will just finish above the relegation zone, says Super Nick. Yeah, I think you have got a point about Frank Lampard, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out next season for him if they do stay up. And Grace singing about the Borough right now. Big up Grace. I don't know if they're going to come back in the Prem. And Matt says I never liked GCM, but he changed his thoughts. Maybe he likes you now.
Yeah.
Now, and Super Nick says Brentford over Watford, Norwich, Brentford, and Leeds to go down, says Super Nick. Big up that one. So Super Nick's gone Watford to stay up with Roy.
That is mad.
Interesting. Brentford are playing a lot of teams around them in their running. It's in their hands. They win the crunch games, so they deserve to stay up. If they lose to Everton, Burnley, and Watford, then goodbye. True, because it's 6 points, isn't it? 6-pointer. I think they'll beat. They could definitely beat Watford, Burnley, and they could beat Everton. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Interesting. This is why I love football, man. For this reason.
Yeah, it's you can't call it really. It's so close between each of the teams, and it's literally gonna be who's able to pick up the points. Aye, Matt, come on. Yeah.
Oh man, big up Matt, man. Always like you. Wilf wants Everton to go down so that we can raid for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Damari Gray. Maybe. But it ain't pretty. You're right, Wilf. Yep, it's tough, but we only need 5 wins in our last 14. Easier said than done at the bottom, though, isn't it? Big up Don Juan. The king is back hunting them rats. Big up Don Juan in the place. She is a Borough and evil Chelsea fan. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. City 0-0. Oh, what's that in terms of? Oh, getting the Peterborough game. Big up, Luca. Thank you for that. Thank you for bringing us the updates, everyone. And Don One has said Norwich, Leeds, and Watford. So agreeing with me there. That's my bottom three that I've gone for, Don One. Let me know your thoughts afterwards if you're watching in the comments below, because now we're going to get onto the big one. The big talk, yeah? If you don't know, I'm Street Talks, as you can see on the channel, and I'm an Arsenal fan. And CM is a Manchester United fan. And we're here to talk about the top four now. Guys in the chat, get your top fours in. Not yet. Hold fire on them, no. When I give you the thumbs up, that's when you can go, because we're going to talk about the teams in the top four right now. And who's currently in there? Sitting. And hang on, before I say talk, are Chelsea in this top four race here?
You know what? They have games in hand. So if they get rid of those games in hand, because they got 25 games played, United, West Ham 27. But you never know. You can't really say Chelsea are gonna get them results, because they've had parts of the season where they're shaky. So I'm gonna say they will get dragged into it.
Yeah. Wow. You're saying that you will get dragged into it, Chelsea. We know Moss, Will, through being on the chat, and they've said Chelsea, they're going to finish in that. They're going to finish in fourth, so they're definitely in it. And the fact that CM said that, I take a little bit of solace in that, because I've received a bit of banter by asking Chelsea fans this in the past, like Twitter Spaces and that. But I think you're in it until you got points on the board. The games in hand don't mean a thing. And that's why when I'm talking about Arsenal in terms of our top four prospects, I don't think about our games in hand if we get the points in those. I think about the teams that we're going to play if we can beat the ones we expected to beat, because the games in hand don't mean anything. But I'll get into a bit more about Arsenal. So CM thinks Chelsea are in there. Personally, I don't think they're in there. I think Chelsea are in that purgatory. Not fighting for a title and too good to face top four. We saw them how they performed against Liverpool. I know it's a one-off game, but they should have won.
Yeah,
shouldn't they?
Yeah. I saw people saying Chelsea got robbed. Nah, man, they flopped themselves.
Yeah,
they robbed themselves. They missed?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Mason Mount, Pulisic, Werner being offside at stupid times. The fact that Lukaku's even pushing the line that much. I heard Gary Neville say it in commentary, like, why don't you just hold your run? You're on the edge of it already. Hold your run. Like, don't even give the referee a decision. Yeah. He didn't need to. He didn't even gain any extra yard having that shot. You know what I mean? He faked it, yeah, and cut inside and went and whipped it into the near post. So it's not even like he needed to get the shot off. Yeah, just they robbed themselves. But the fact that Chelsea do that and they don't take their chances when they need to, they're in there, and that's why they are in the position they are. Nothing to do with their defensive record. It's all to do with their lack of prowess in front of goal, which was the same issues they had last season. So I don't think they'll be in there, because I think they'll edge games. Like I did against Palace, that 1-0 win. They'll pick up the points. So I think Chelsea will finish third, but the top four currently. Let me bring it on screen for you guys here. Currently in fourth is CM's team, Manchester United, 27 games played, 47 points. 2 points behind them is in fifth, West Ham, 27 games played, 45 points. And in sixth, so many people's favourites, I know it's the chat's favourites right now, Arsenal in sixth with 24 games played, 3 games in hand over United. However, on the same points as West Ham and 2 points behind Manchester United with 45. Tottenham with 25 games played, 42 points, a game more than Arsenal, 2 less than Manchester United and West Ham. Obviously, Arsenal and Tottenham have got to still play each other in that one, but they're on 42. And with their goal difference, they're going to either need their madness for a goal swing or, that's an extra point in itself. And I want to ask you before we talk about not United, because we've got West Ham in there, Manchester United, West Ham, and Arsenal and Tottenham. Are Wolves in it or out now?
I would say more so Wolves. Once again, that's a tough one. I would say they're out of it now.
Yeah.
I would have said like probably a week ago that it was 4-8, but now I'm saying it stops at Tottenham, and it's a slim chance for them, even though they do have games in hand. But I have some, I don't know, man. Tottenham have a chance. I'll say it stops with them.
Yeah. So see, I'm saying Chelsea is still in there, given their situation, but Wolves, they're out. And I agree with you. I agree with you on Wolves. They're not in it anymore. They'll drop more points because of their lack of goals, their lack of prowess in front of goal. They don't have the quality that the likes of Chelsea or Tottenham or even Arsenal, Man United do. Do you know what I mean? To scrape them in games where they don't deserve to win, in my opinion. And that was shown against Arsenal. They didn't deserve. If they would have grabbed points out of that, they'd have shown a different level, wouldn't they, CM? Because they didn't deserve to win. Arsenal definitely deserved to win, and they got what they deserve. But that's not how football works. If that's how football worked, I mean, we'd swap Brighton with Man United right now, straight.
Yeah. A lot of teams
you know
with Man United, bro.
Exactly. But this football is about taking chances at the end of the day. So that's it. Wolves are out of it for me. But as we said, Manchester United, West Ham. So talk to me about your team first, Manchester United.
Well, everything externally and internally to do with the club is a shambles. The way we're run, the way we play on the pitch has been getting, credit to Ralph Rangnick. It has been better than how it ended with Ole. But there are still a lot of vulnerabilities when it comes to our midfield, our defense at times, our fullbacks as well. And now our front line are starting to show a lot of issues because we went from a team that couldn't create a lot of chances to a team that creates a lot of chances and can't finish them. So there are a lot of issues, and I'm a believer that internally, the way that we're run, we're set up for all of these leaks that come out on a weekly basis to kind of manipulate the fan base and stuff like that, and just get all of the talk off of the board and what they're actually doing. I don't think for years now they've put Manchester United in a position of where we literally are, which is a fighting for top 4 team, looking from the outside and not the inside. We're not title contenders. We even do well to get, we have finished second in some seasons, but we've been far off of those title winners in those seasons. So it's not even a legit second. It's more so teams below us have been, subpar, and we've taken advantage of that. But when it really matters, Manchester United don't turn up. We've been in cup finals, semi-finals, and this team has failed. And we still almost hang by that personnel. We talk up certain players that have no business being in a top class team. So, there are a lot of problems at Manchester United, and that is that.
It's true, and Wilf says it right here. Too much fighting in the dressing room, not enough on the pitch, which is shackling Manchester United, in my honest opinion. And that's what it seems to be falling down to. Don Juan, I just want to say as well, this comment right here, I think it's an interesting one. I'll get into that in a bit because I know Matt had a response in the chat, but I think it has some weight to it. But in terms of that, it does, from the outside looking in, it does seem like that lack of togetherness. We've seen it at Arsenal. I look at it, and I look at Man United, and I look at you and I think 2017 Arsenal, 2018. You know what I mean? We have quality players. Even the likes of, Mustafi and those guys who got roasted, they weren't bad footballers. We saw it on one-off games. They could perform. They won FA Cups. Do you know what I mean? Against some top sides.
World Cup winners, bro.
Hey, it's true. It's true. And you see inconsistently from the likes of Ozil in those situations, the lack of celebrations for goals. I know it seems like a little thing, but it says a lot about the mentality of a squad, though, doesn't it, CM? That lack of togetherness. Somebody scores, someone I don't really get along with, and,
Yeah,
and they can't separate that on the pitch. At Man United, you guys were the kings of having players disagree with each other, have actual hatred for each other. But put that aside when you step on the pitch, because when the badge on the front, I know it's Tony Adams lying, but the badge on the front is more important than the name on the back. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And they'd put anything aside, any personal issue, and that's what Ferguson smashed it at. That's probably what he was best at, is man management, even when he had lack of quality at times. But with United, with the likes of Sancho and the what Rashford has produced in the Premier League, the numbers and the goals and, things that he's done, Fernandes, Ronaldo, for goodness sakes, Pogba, you know what I mean? Like even Luke Shaw, the season he had last season, like ridiculous to see the level drop of a lot of these players. And then some of them, like De Gea, maintain it and keep it up. And it's baffling. And even Fernandes, I know he struggled in that. He didn't have a bad start, but it's that midpoint from the start. He had a very poor time of it, but then he's picked it back up. And then Cavani's taking like days off. All the unrest, all the leaks and stuff that's coming out of there. The fact that United are in this position is because of the quality that they have in there, to take those final chances. And the game that epitomizes that was when we played you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a weird season for Man United, because I feel like ever since Ole got sacked and then we appointed Ralph Rangnick, it was almost like just cancelling the season and saying, all right, next season we'll kick on, we'll appoint a manager and we'll do these things. And I can't trust this board, because time and time again, they've proven themselves to fail. They've been, in Mourinho's were specialists in failure. And it's literally that from the top, from the Glazers to those like, Ed Woodward, who's gone now. John Murtaugh's coming, but he was working within the club. You're appointing people, always those within the club who you have a good relationship with, a safe with, a know that will follow your orders. We need some external figures that will come in and shake up the place. You know what I mean? Change the culture of the club for the better. And right now, the Glazers are controlling everything from what comes in to what goes out. And they're contributing to financial gain for themselves and the club, of course. But on the pitch, it's nothing but failure.
Exactly that. And as Super Nick said right there, the toxic culture, that's where it's come from. You mentioned it, and that's why it's perfect timing to put that together. When it comes from there, it will always trickle down and have an effect on the foundations. It will. Or you could switch it the other way around. They're the foundations of the club, and that's what it's going to produce. And that's why you said on Get Amped yesterday, young players can't thrive at this club because of the toxic, the atmosphere, everything around it. If you're to plant a seed in poor soil or poor compost and not give it enough water, enough time, or anything like that, enough sunlight, it's not going to grow. You can have the best seed in the world, like we've seen. I'm sorry to say, the controversy that's going on, with that certain player, but Jadon Sancho, I know he's picking it up now. He shouldn't. He shouldn't have had to. Even when he's picking it up, you gotta say he's not the level he was at Dortmund. And we've seen Rashford, who has shown a good level, that die out for certain reasons. So it's one too many to be, blame the player, blame the individual. It's too many times it's happened now. And when it's happening to the Cristiano Ronaldo, I know he's kind of had a decline anyway, but that even faster in his career, it says a lot. It says a lot. And don't worry, Don Juan. Don't you worry at all. I know we're talking real now. I'm showing a lot of compassion in that. But if United finish below the top 4, you can come right back here and I'll bring CM and I'll come on a banter team. I will come. I'll straight give him banter.
It's a social media blackout, man.
None of that. You can find CM. You know where he's at. Go subscribe to him, and then you'll make sure get in the comments, hassle him. The results ain't been that great. CM ain't posted for 12 days, people. You know what I mean? He's had a little blackout at the moment. I'm on to him. Will talking about me. I told you to come on a stream drunk. My Staffy, not a bad player. Bro, he's the only professional footballer that could foul himself No one. It's true. I'll take that one. But in a way, one-off game, he did perform in some of them. I remember in the last FA Cup final, we was complaining about not having Mustafi in there. But do you know what? Before I talk about my boys, I'll quickly, me and CM will discuss West Ham and Spurs. West Ham and Spurs. What's the things that what's the pros and cons to West Ham, and then I'll do the pros and cons to Spurs, and then see if we agree.
For West Ham, they have some tough fixtures running in, and the problem for them is they had a great start, and their expectations they skyrocketed, and I don't think that's done the team well, especially with the fact that here and there they've struggled with a few injuries at times, and then that transfer window. I don't remember who said it. Someone in the media said almost them not bringing in a player or two to galvanize that squad has done the mood. It's done the mood of the squad in a bad way, because it's like the expectations will get to you, especially if you're a West Ham side. Doesn't matter who you are, how much confidence you're playing with, those expectations will get to you. And we're seeing that from West Ham. Of course, they will get the results, but they're not that vibrant team in all of those games that we saw at the start of the season in terms of what they are now. And I think with the running that they have towards the end of the season, they've got the likes of City, Chelsea, Spurs, obviously, who you're going to speak about, Liverpool up next. It's a difficult road for them. You know what I mean? We're speaking about top four.
Yeah.
That, for me, is you would have to write them off, me personally. But
yeah. And you got to. And the fact that they played the same amount of games also. And as you said, some of the fixtures to come. Liverpool next, for me, right off, may prove to be different. City, Chelsea, Arsenal to still play. You know what I mean? And you picked up 6 points against them this season. And that's saying something. Do you know what I mean? But it's just one of those ones, man. I just don't see West Ham doing it. I don't see either, and I agree with those points. And for Spurs, pros, obviously Antonio Conte, Kane, Son. That's it, really. And they have the quality, they have the manager that could squeeze something. I don't think it will happen though. I've said this. I don't think Spurs will be in the top four race by even 10 games left. Which is how many games for them? A few. When they have 10 games left, they won't be in the top four race. But Conte, yes, gives people that belief, and Kane, and beating the likes of City. Can they do it on a consistent basis? But that's a part of being a top four side. I've seen Arsenal turn up on odd occasions and not beat City away from home, or even beat City really full stop. But we've seen Spurs do that and still finish outside the top four. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Not for me at all. They've got more problems. They've got dressing room issues. Also, where Conte's still speaking. I know he's kind of backtracked, but whatever.
That brother was doing some next reverse psychology. He was there doubting his own abilities to fix the problems at the club.
Do you know what I mean? And this is Antonio Conte, league title winner, serial winner. Antonio Conte doesn't pull no punches. Still didn't work out. So yeah, and the cons to them is that even with the back five, their defense, and he's still shaky, still leaking goals, and still. I know they beat Leeds, but come on, Leeds have just had to sack their manager. We spoke about them. I think we'll get relegated, so that says a lot, really. Mm-hmm. And then everything else, that midfield is extremely poor, horrendous. Big up Rich in the place as well. He's tuning in from Selhurst Park, Big up Rich, man, my brother. I know you probably can't even hear us. You probably can't hear us, but big up Rich.
You have to big up Selhurst Park. I heard at OT people struggle to get data.
But Rich has got somewhere. He knows where to go. Big up Rich, man. Hey, what's that seat, man? Let us know. But yeah, I think Spurs aren't in it. I think West Ham have more of a chance. What would you say, West Ham or Spurs? More of a chance.
I would say, me personally, I think Spurs have more of a chance than West Ham,
Yeah. Is that because of quality, though, when you're looking at the individuals?
I feel like the individuals Spurs are gonna have a lot of things go their way. I agree with you defensively, they're dodgy. I think if West Ham can somehow find the form that they had at the start of the season, then yeah, I'll put them over Tottenham. But the way I see them kind of slowly, it's a slow decline where they'll pick up results here and there, but then they also have the tendency to drop points, which is almost it's not Cappy today. It's not Cappy today, man. He's not here. He's
To
not
be honest,
here.
I don't know.
No,
We'll
but
never find out. Anyways, carry on, bro.
Hey, man. Both teams have a tendency to drop points, innit? But
yeah,
I just feel like Tottenham have Harry Kane, Son, and it seems like they're starting to click at the right time of the season. And if that's the case, then Spurs are going to have a good chance. It's hard to say between the two because we have seen West Ham pick up results. Spurs have 2 games in hand. Here and there, if they win that, I know they got a North London derby that you haven't played yet as well. So it's here and there. It's here and there between the both.
Exactly.
But I would say Tottenham right now.
More of a chance.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts. I know Arsenal fans, I know what you're going to say. But this is what Wilf is replying in terms of that. Levy is too stubborn to do what Spurs needed. Conte appealing to NATO to get him out of there in his last interview. It seems like that. And Don Juan kind of agreeing with you in a way. Actually, I feel like West Ham could collapse at any time. Interesting. I feel like Spurs could collapse at any time. They both could go kaboom like that. You know what I mean? So, but we'll talk about the big top 4 race, the real one. And that's between our boys, yeah? You spoke about United. I can talk about my Arsenal in much more glowing terms. The difference that I've seen from Arsenal is ridiculous. And that to what I've seen, even under the last years of Wenger, is that we have the togetherness, we have those things that I mentioned, West Ham, these teams that really do above and beyond to even get in a position do. We've got the quality throughout the side. My words, can I just say this, brother? Martin Ødegaard, Mossy's boy, what a baller he is. And if you don't watch Arsenal every week, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, when you're paying like that a little bit more attention to it, you see the impact he makes on the Arsenal a lot more. And he will get his flowers. He will, from the general consensus of fans. He will at some point. CM, you heard it here first. When it happens, yeah, when you hear it, remember who told you this, yeah. Because the Arsenal fan base, honestly, they can't stop talking about this guy, and for good reason. Thomas Partey now. I remember talking after our game. After our game, I said, "That's it. Nah, Thomas Partey, you have been a failure. I'm sorry. He must be one of these 5 people watching right now because, bro, the levels he's gone up by and the consistency throughout those games. He had that one against Everton, but that happened after United. But since then, we've seen a different level. And those 2 guys have been the most important into our upturning form. And yes, we still got important players like Ramsdale. Tomiyasu was everyone who was saying how vital he is. But, Cedric's come in, done a decent job. He's not the level that, we need. But to come in and do a job, pick up 6 points against Wolves and leave, you know what I mean? Like, it's decent. Gabriel, I've spoke about this guy a lot. Even he's looked pretty shaky at certain points, of course, against Wolves with that mistake. But he's been
red cards on deck as well.
Hey, there you go. True, forgot that one against City. Yeah. Letting us down in that game in particular also. I know a lot. Do you know what? That's mad because a lot of that was put on Xhaka and, the referee. But you weren't hearing too much for Gabriel. You know what I mean? And someone as one of his biggest fans, I'll say that he has let us down and he needs to get that out of his game. Otherwise, he'll get the Xhaka treatment and those things there. But for me, Thomas Partey and Ødegaard are the reason why we are where we are. And they're not the only reason, but a massive source into our team. And I hope we can keep a lot of our players fit. But you know what? It's a pleasure watching those 2 play. And that separates us from the likes of West Ham, from the likes of Spurs, even though having that quality in that midfield area. But yeah, once again, Mikel Arteta, I waxed lyrical about him. I wanted to stick with him, trust the process, some people would say, because of what I have seen in short spells. Yes, it was winning the FA Cup. I will be honest, that was a big factor in me giving him time. But that's what we should do off of trophies. I know you guys, United, didn't do it off the back of Louis van Gaal. Also spoke about that one yesterday. But that was a mistake in hindsight. Would you agree? Like in terms of United sacking Van Gaal?
I would agree. So I think, winning a trophy kind of allows, especially in a certain situation, it should give you at least another, season and a bit to see what changes you can make, how you can approach the team and improve your methods. I think it was rash getting rid of Van Gaal at that time. And, it's shown for Man United because they almost look like they don't know what to do. At times they've been rash and they've made quick decisions, and now they're scared to make quick decisions because of those past ones. So yeah, man, it's all mad.
Exactly. Well, big up yourself. You have not missed. Well, you missed 1 hour and 25 minutes, but you can definitely check that back out if you want. We spoke about the title talk, it's relegation battle. Now we're talking about top four. We're talking about our teams in particular, and there's very contrasting emotions. Of me as an Arsenal fan, I'm excited, and Josh Kroenke would say, I'm very much looking forward to the end of the season. Whereas CM right here, he's not looking forward to it, and you know what? For obvious reasons for both, and just loving to see the Arsenal chat in the chat right now. And look at that, Don Juan. These Arsenal kids are hungry. People talk about if Arsenal get injuries, we're finished. If Kane and Son get injured, Spurs are finished. And we could say the same for certain United players. Also, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So every it's what if buts and maybes. It could happen to anyone. If Arsenal stay injury free, Arsenal get top four comfortably. I'm very confident. And look at that, to see that within the fan base. You wouldn't see that from any United fan, even the most optimistic. We come across some quite optimistic ones yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And they weren't even coming out with chests like that. So that says a lot. But CM, we're probably going to touch an hour and a half. Thank you for staying with me, my bro. Thank you, man. Man. You know how we do. This is when we talk football. It always is. It's like a watch along here. But CM. So your top six now. I want you to go from third to sixth.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna say Chelsea finishing third.
Yeah.
Fourth. Yesterday in Get Out, I said I can see Man United finishing fourth, but I didn't actually give my answer.
No, you didn't. I know you're some next politician right here. You know what I mean? Bless her.
Fourth position, I think it's gonna be Arsenal.
And this is definitely Cappy speaking. It's Cappy.
It hurts me to say this because I want United, the best for United, obviously, innit? But we have been bailed out in retrospect in past seasons where we've kind of stumbled across the line, innit? And I think this is the time that I would want them not to do that, because that would expose further the issues that are going on within the club. And I don't think they're getting highlighted by the fan base as a whole. So I'm going to say United fourth. Arsenal fourth, United fifth.
Yeah.
And Tottenham sixth.
Okay. West Ham finished what, seventh?
Yeah. I think West Ham are gonna drop off still.
Interesting. Guys, I can see yours in the chat. Joe, I'm gonna hold up a little bit until I give mine. But this is Wills. He's on Liverpool to win the league. City second. Hot take. Yep, definitely. Arsenal third. Chelsea fourth. Man U in fifth. And then Matt said Norwich, Brentford, Leeds to go down, and Everton to sneak fourth on the last day of this season against Arsenal. Spurs fifth. West Ham sixth. Oh, you put yours in early on. Oh man, I need to have a look at that. I need to go back to it. That was your fifth to sixth to seventh. Let's have a look at it. Down one. Don't you worry. I'll get there. I'll get to it. And Moss put his also in there. Sorry, people. Don Juan, can you chuck yours back in again, please, if you don't mind? But he's got me his 5th to 6th, 8th there. Spurs 5th, West Ham 6th, United 7th, Wolves 8th. Interesting there. Interesting. And Wilf gave his 6th, 7th, and 8th also right there. No signings for West Ham will cost them, says Super Nick.
Yeah.
I think it will. I agree. And then we'll get into that one just now, actually, before I give mine. About Chelsea, I do think the Champions League did cover it up, their average season last season in the league. And they did that before when they won the Champions League previously.
Hey,
it is a knockout competition.
Didn't he get sacked the season after that? So
100%. You know it. Tuchel's better than Di Matteo, but the fact they're in third, not a lot's been made about it for Thomas Tuchel in my eyes. Not enough at all. But, I'll leave that for another day. But big up Macy's up in here as well. Hey, Tariq and CM, hope you keep him well. But Luca put his also in. City to win it. Liverpool 2nd. Chelsea 3rd. United in 4th. He thinks Arsenal will finish 6th. Big up Luca, though. But that's a big prediction right there. I'll have to give you props if you do get it. I won't be happy, and I know you won't be, but we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. And Mossy's was City to win it, Liverpool 2nd, Arsenal 3rd, Chelsea 4th, Man United in 5th, West Ham in 6th, Spurs 7th, and Wolves 8th. So
seems like we got a couple Arsenal fans like backing you lot to finish, like 3rd finish. That's kind of mad.
And Macy thinks Liverpool will get it last game of the season. Wow. But for me, I'm going Chelsea 3rd. And I've said, and this is the first time I'm like really going to say it on my stream, on my channel. I'm going to go Arsenal 4th. Yeah. I'm going to say Manchester United 5th. It's going to be neck and neck between us. I think West Ham will get 6th. And there'll be a little bit of a gap between you and West Ham. I think them maybe 3-4 points, minimum 3 points. I think there'll be a bit of a gap, and then Spurs close. And the Spurs close with West Ham. Either way, give or take, depends on how West Ham do in Europe. But I'm going to say West Ham 6th, Spurs 7th, and so Arsenal to finish in the top 4. I've said it here, people. Hold me to it now. Yeah, I've said it. Finally believing. Exactly. I am believing. I will. I've said it. Arsenal are going to finish 4th in my eyes. Maybe that might be the issue. If it all falls apart now, why.
You're never going to be able to survive from that. If it all falls apart, the curse is back alive, bro.
It's true. And I'm always open, Luca. Definitely follow me on the socials and get in touch with me on there, whatever socials you want. It's in the description below. But that's the final verdict. That's the final verdict, people. Thank you so much for this. Everyone in the comments. I really appreciate you all coming in, showing support, liking the video. If you haven't done so already, smash it and subscribe if you're new. But also, all of you people right now, go and subscribe to CM himself, CM22 ENT. The link is in the description. Go check him out right there. Thank you so much. I'll just give you a quick run through. To win the league, CM went with Man City. I went with Liverpool to win it and City to finish 2nd. And obviously CM went with Liverpool to finish 2nd. Relegation battle, CM went with Norwich, Watford and Brentford. I went for Norwich, Watford and Leeds. And in the top 4, CM went with Chelsea to finish 3rd, Arsenal to finish 4th, Man United to finish 5th in there. And then for me, I said Chelsea 3rd, Arsenal 4th, and Man United to finish 5th. So we both agreed on that one there. Appreciate you all in the chat. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a look at that. Love to you all. Love to you, Don Juan. Love to you, Wilf. Love to you, Moss. Love to you, G Staffy. Rich. Everyone in the place right there. Casey. You're all doing well. And apologies if I missed you out, but I got the love for you. Luke, I'm running through it now. Macy, Super Nick, I remember you was in here also. And everyone else who did watch. I really do appreciate you all. Love to you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And good night. Peace, people.